Here is Blacknight. She is a black knight. Wait, that's redundant. A lot of people tend to sleep on her. Don't worry, I'll be here all day. This is actually my first operator analysis on a 5-star since their kits are usually very simple, but Blacknight's characteristics and skills have some funky mechanics we'll dive into later on. Since a lot of you will be getting copies of her from pulling on the Blue Woman jump scare banner, you might wonder if she's worth raising or not. Well, let's find out. So I've read your resume and it says that you're really good with animals? You're here to study Saga? Honestly, that's a little insulting. Sure, we may not be able to understand her, but I'm sure she has motivations and thoughts just like us. I mean, I guess as long as you're respecting her personal space, go ahead. Black Knight, shortened to BN, not to be confused with Black Knight, also not to be confused with Blood Knight, also not to be confused with Burger King, is a tactician vanguard, meaning she costs cheap and is deployable on ranged tiles. Black Knight's stats herself aren't that great. She's pretty flimsy and her attack is mediocre, but she makes up for it with her summon. Black Knight herself has trouble taking down low defense enemies because of her low attack, but her trait can make up for it. Her trait makes her, the operator, deal 50% more damage to enemies blocked by Hypnos, her summon, which is given by her talent. Tactician Vanguard summons are special because they never disappear from the map unless you retreat the operator, but this also means you can't reposition the summon once you place it down. When the summon reaches 0 HP, they start automatically regenerating while becoming untargetable until they reach full HP, at which they'll be active again. This takes 15 seconds if you have the operator at E2. You can retreat the summon to force it into its regeneration state again, which helps in certain cycle situations. For example, you might want to have the summon not block a specific enemy, or you could want the summon at full HP at a specific point. Comparing Hypnos to Beanstalk's Crabs, it's clear that Hypnos is more damage oriented with its greater attack stat. What's even more obvious is that increase in HP, beating the Metal Crabs by 700. Another difference between Black Knight and Beanstalk summons is that Black Knight's summon actually has range in the 4 adjacent tiles, while Beanstalk's summon has no range at all. While Black Knight's summon has more HP than Beanstalk's summons, it has lower defense, making it more prone to physical damage. Black Knight's skill 1, Drowsiness, instantly gives 11 DP and makes a summon get home from its 9 to 5 job, going to sleep after a tiring long day, and recovering 14% of its max HP per second. If the summon is attacked during this state, just like me after not getting enough sleep, it becomes irate and beats down anything in its range for 10 seconds. The sleep state is permanent until the summon is attacked, and this bit is a tad bit important. The skill is not that great for conventional uses, which usually boils down to its poor lane holding capabilities. It's not that great of a survivability skill, mainly because you're going to use this skill if Hypnos is trying to tank anything, which isn't the case. Even worse, you can't make Hypnos come back faster if you activate the skill while the summon is dead, so basically you just wasted a proc. The offensive capabilities of Hypnos when it's awake are also very mid, with Hypnos' attack going up to about 700, which isn't much considering its physical damage. It's basically anti-air sniper auto attacks, which are negligible on medium enemy defense. If you want better damage capabilities, skill 2 shines better in that regard. There is, however, funny tech with this skill. Behold, the Sarkaz Sentinel stall strat featuring the one and only skill 1. Since Hypnos is asleep, it doesn't attack, but it can still block, and since Black Knight is a vanguard, this is a perfect combo for this stage to set up in the right area, while also not having to worry about triggering all those Blade Weaver guys. There's also a TWEX6 trio with Black Knight S1, where the summon is used as a tank to take Gramophone aggro and cap it at the same time, so while the skill is not good for lane holding, it has some small tech that makes it worth in niche situations. Black Knight's second skill, Peaceful Slumber, immediately grants 4 DP and puts all enemies to sleep in the 4 adjacent tiles of the summon for 6 seconds. Hypnos will deal AoE arts damage after the skill is procced, dealing 210% damage to slumbering enemies. This skill can hold 2 charges, meaning you can sleep enemies for a fat 12 seconds if you want to stack procs on each other. It's 16 SP per proc, so it's not too too bad to get this skill up. Hypnos can also deal some pretty nice damage since it's AoE and arts, and you can use the skill to cancel enemy attacks, which will help the summon's survivability. But before you start grabbing your Blemishines, your Kafkas, your Irises, your Soras? Does anyone actually have Sora S1M3 on their account? Anyways, a lot of you will be tempted by sleep synergy with this skill, but remember, Hypnos only has 6 seconds of uptime to actually attack the slumbered enemies. It can't attack slept enemies outside of those 6 seconds, and Blacknight herself can't even attack slumbered enemies at all. So the damage on your sleep setup is going to be very mid. You might think that sleep stalling with all these options you see would be a viable option, and you're on the right track, but needing this many operators in a squad just to make a stall setup work would be too much. But wait a minute. Just like her skill 1, there's also secret tech to this skill. You see, invisible enemies have to be revealed first before they can be put to sleep. But for some reason, Blacknight S2 decides to not care and sleep invisible enemies anyways. Hypnos can't attack the enemies because remember, they're still invisible, but if you wanted to hypothetically stall all the enemies on the map forever and then kill them once they're all slumbered because they can't move, Blacknight would be a perfect strategy for this. Remember, you can still use this skill while the summon is dead, and the crowd control will work, just without the summon beating up everyone. And that's how I sold the crayons to the elementary schooler for 5 times the market price. Oh, hey, it's Blacknight and Saga. How are you guys? You're taking notes on her activities? Doesn't she just eat all day? She also saves children from the house fire. Huh. Wait, what? I've never heard of this. As I've mentioned throughout the video, Blacknight is focused more on damage compared to Beanstalk. Beanstalk has skills that allow her summons to regenerate, but Blacknight's skills all increase the attack power of her Hypnos. This means Beanstalk's crabs make great ranged bait, while Blacknight excels against melee enemies with her sleep crowd control and AoE arts damage. Especially in Vanguard Knights, you're more likely to see Blacknight be taken up because of her slumber and damage, while Beanstalk would be stalling or taking ranged shots. CC8 is literally hell because there are attack down tags on top of attack speed down tags on top of enemy HP tags, so you end up dealing jack no damage. When it comes to situations like these, your only option is to stall and stall hard. Everyone learned from CC Blade that Liskarm SP battery exists, so we combined that with Blacknight S2, and here we go. Sleep stalling the entire map by the 4th enemy. Granted, you need Telopsis to make the strat work, but spamming Blacknight skill 2 to sleep all the enemies was the only achievable way to do max risk. There's also this clear that uses a very well timed Blacknight skill 2 to crowd control the flamethrower guys and stall them in order to gather them all up and have them do a funny domino cascade explosion. In both these clears, the damage on Blacknight wasn't really that important, but instead the mechanics of her kit. Overall, Blacknight seems pretty simple on the surface, but as you go deeper into her skills and summon, there's small nuances that make her really shine in certain situations. Despite these very interesting uses of her mechanics, I actually wouldn't recommend raising Blacknight if you already have other 5-star or 6-star Vanguards raised, simply because she doesn't really do anything crazy in general content. If you really want to put masteries on her though, S2M3 is the only skill that's worth. The report on Saga? Sure, I'll give it a quick read. I assume these are the activities she did today. Alright, so ate food. She ate food, stopped 2 world wars, ate food, prevented a robbery, ate food, ended world hunger, ate food. Wait, how did she end world hunger if she's eating this much food every day?